while we have heard so much from a global leader and looking forward for his victory soon, we are in the next phase of our day 2 summit, where we were talking about the perspectives of how we put children and young people in forefront in framing the advocacy and governance policies. Now, what is the perspective from children and young people? I think we are moving towards hearing on the perspectives of children and young people with the panel ahead. And to demystify what it is, let me hand over this session to my dear colleagues here, Dr. Chandrasekhar and Amrita Patel. Over to you guys for the next session. Thank you so much for being patient enough and being with me. Thank you. Over to you guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Batul. It was fabulous, hearing Dr. Rinchen and the lovely inputs that he had regarding the work that he's been doing. First, good afternoon, everybody, and again a warm welcome to our next session. It's already cold in here in Gujarat. Hope elsewhere too. We have young Indians, Yuva members, students, and a fabulous audience who together have initiated a youth dialogue through this Masoom Summit 2020. We have been hearing some fabulous speakers since yesterday, along with some thought-provoking dialogues through these intense sessions. We just heard Dr. Rinchen walk us through the SIWAC and Asian Children's Summit and how they work across 8 countries with meaningful programs and dialogues. He threw light on the vulnerability of children to access the internet and the segment of children which are being bargained as cheap labor for to turn the wheels around for family economies, during this COVID pandemic. I think these are certain lights that we don't think of, issues during the pandemic, something to really ponder upon. Key takeaways I really found were, one, not to just only advocate and be a policy maker, but also work towards making the children aware of their rights, which is very, very important. He also talked on peer support, which is important to understand the impact on children. And finally, on building capacities in parents, teachers, and caregivers to give children a safe environment. We now come to, we've got some fabulous speakers today, which brings us to this next session. So today is the opportunity to building the tomorrow you want. And for that, we have to have the insight and thoughts and ideas of the new generation, the youth. We have young children here with us. And with that thought, we have taken 2 dynamic younger minds who have excelled beyond imagination in their fields, largely out of the mainstream domains. Our first panelist is a young female, Meera Erda, is one of India's foremost female open wheel racer and champion. She is the youngest girl in Indian motorsport. Meera began racing when she was 9 years old. Her first race came after just 25 days of training as she competed in the 2020 JK Tyre National Rotax Max Championship in India. Later that year, she participated in her first international race at the Plus Yamaha SL International Challenge in Malaysia. She managed her first podiums and race wins in 2011, also winning the award for the Best Driver of the Year. Through consistent performances, she made her way to the JK Racing Championship 2014 to become the youngest Formula 4 girl driver. Continuing to improve every year, Meera became the Formula 4 Rookie Champion of the Year 2016 and was honored by FMSCI, the governing body for motorsports in India, with the Outstanding Woman in Motorsports Award. In 2017, she became the first Indian woman to race in the Euro JK Series, one of the highest classes of Formula racing in India. In 2019, she won her first ever international podium by finishing first in the ladies category in round 2 of the FIA Formula 4 SEA Championship at Sepang International Circuit. Oof, that was a long and a powerful introduction. Welcome aboard, Meera. Over to you, Chandra, to introduce the second panelist.
Thank you, Amrita, and good afternoon to everyone here on the YI Masoom Summit. Welcome, Meera, on the panel, and joining Meera today on the panel is Master Aditya. Aditya Pachpade is a child prodigy, an entrepreneur, and an innovator who, while still a student of grade 9, is a force to reckon with in the field of education and innovation. His invention, Suraksha Box, a do-it-yourself UVC sanitizer box that disinfects everyday items without using chemicals and detergents, is getting rave reviews from the scientific community across India, including the Government of India MC&I, patent published and is tested, approved and certified by CSIR CMERI, ICMR approved lab of the Government of India. The box can enable protection against all kinds of bacteria and viruses, including COVID-19, by facilitating surface decontamination of items such as office supplies, mobile phones, vegetables, groceries, etc. His social venture, Next Gen Innovate Foundation, is distributing these kits to the poor and the needy and is helping in not only protecting people but also preventing the spread of viruses. Not just that, a winner of multiple awards, Aditya is the youngest ever student to complete 3 summer academies at Harvard, an entrepreneurship course at the Babson, and design thinking at Stanford. Now, this boy from India is going surely places. Aditya has an MOU with the Harvard for bringing Summer Business Academy program to India. He has appeared as a young international keynote speaker at several international education and innovation summits. Aditya was the youngest speaker at the IYLIF Singapore 2018, BECon IIT Delhi 2019, WIEF, Dialogue India Dubai, ASSOCHAM, AWS Imagine 2019 at Seattle, 5th ET Global Business Summit, and FOL 2020 at IIM Bangalore. The mission of his startup, Next Gen Innovate 8, is to set up innovation clubs in every possible school in the world, and their vision is to promote and teach creativity, innovation, critical thinking, and problem solving skills to children all around the world to prepare them for a secure and bright future. That is a brief about Aditya. His award list runs into pages. In fact, it kind of gives an envy for all of us at our age that these young achievers have made so much progress at such a young age. And it's indeed the privilege of YI to have them voice their opinions on this fantastic panel on child participation. So, taking the whole panel discussion forward, what Amrita and I are going to basically do is to nudge these young minds to share their perspectives, their thoughts, and their ideas on this ever sensitive topic of children and their safety and security in this globalized world. So, we have a series of questions planned. So, we are going to ask them one after the other, and both the panelists are going to give their perspectives to these questions. So, without much ado, welcome Aditya and Meera on board, and let's get started. I'm going to ask the first question, and you can start answering it. We will go with Meera first on the answer, and then Aditya. So, that's how we are going to get started. So, Meera,
Hello, hi. Thank you so much for having me here.
thank you so much. And the question for you is we would like to hear from you one fond memory from your early childhood days. If you can share with us a fond memory from your early childhood days.
Yeah, sure, of course. So I started racing at a very young age, at just the age of 9. So this is the memory that I have before I started racing, and I think it has changed me as a person. I basically have two memories. That was one when I was always, as a kid, I was always passionate about speed. And my dad, always used to support me in that, and he would take me on drives, and it would be just me and my dad going out on long drives. And I always used to have loved that time which I used to get my dad. So that is one memory that I always still remember from my childhood days. And the other one is, this is something very emotional to me and very close to my heart, because the first time that I ever sat in a go-kart, I actually went and hit the wall, and I was really scared, and I didn't want to get into the go-kart again. But it was my family who actually told me that we are here. If you want to do it, we'll be there to support you. Don't be afraid. My brother sat with me actually to make sure that I'm not scared enough to try new things. And after that, where I am right now, driving cars at very high speeds. And I think it was my family in the initial years that really supported me and let me get over that fear. So I think these are the two very fond memories from my childhood, where it shows that being around people who really believe in you and support you as a family is very important.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's hear from Aditya. Aditya, your fond memory from childhood.
First of all, I would like to thank Young Indians for inviting me here to share my views on such a sensitive and important topic. I always believe that age is just a number, no barrier to success. When I was 11, I got the opportunity to speak at an SAP conference in front of innovation directors, and after my presentation, I'd gotten a standing ovation. So that inspired me and motivated me to do more in this field and get started on my entrepreneurial journey. So, getting an opportunity to showcase talent will boost confidence and courage to follow one's passion and dreams. So, recently in the pandemic, I saw my family members struggle and so many others with so many hardships. So, I invented the Suraksha box, and our mission is to donate 100 boxes to the needy, underprivileged, and schools. uh, I realized uh, I realized that this really helped to reduce the stress, anxiety, and fear of people. I've also started fundraiser campaigns and my company. So a platform to showcase your talent will really will really ignite a child to follow one's passion.
Thank
That's
you,
awesome.
Aditya.
That's awesome. Meera, what are your expectations from the family members and adults in the family?
I think as a child, I have been giving a lot of speeches, and this is one thing that I always say, that is, you need to be independent on yourself, and you need to make sure that you take your own decisions. So I think what I expect from every family member out there, they should be open to letting the children decide for themselves, first of all, and understand that, it's their life and they should have the freedom to do what they want with their lives. And I think just understanding and trying to talk to them and trying to understand how they feel about certain things, I think that is what I really expect from the family members. Because I get it, in this modern world, most of the parents are really open to, supporting their children in unconventional fields or even in normal things. But I think when it comes to actually taking the decision, somewhere in the mind, they always try to influence the children in doing what they want, and not letting the children do it, do
Awesome.
particular things. So I think that is what I really want, that give the freedom to your children to express themselves and do what they really want to do.
Yeah. And Aditya, you?
So, parenting is a heroic act, and family members play a key role in the development of their child. Most parents push their children to follow their dreams, learn new things, and become something that they desire. And they again, I agree what Meera said, that they should have the freedom to express themselves and be themselves, and if they want to be different than others, they should absolutely have the freedom to do that. Children expect their parents to listen to them. Hmm? They expect them to listen to them and develop a confidence to speak to them. And in case they speak to them about some issues or problems that they're facing, family members should support their child not only physically but also emotionally, and they should educate them about it. I believe that kids are much more innovative than adults, and parents should let their children speak up and give their children choices, a voice, understand their dreams, and help them to overcome their weaknesses.
That's great. I think Aditya and Meera both meant to say from this that the expectations from their parents and relatives around them is more about them listening to them. May just not be their careers or what they want to do, but probably even if they are facing any issues in their present lives, any disturbances in their present lives, they should be able to open up and share with them, right?
Yes, yes, totally. They should
Great.
have the confidence in their
Confidence to share
parents.
anything that they
Yes,
might be going through. Could be any
yes,
emotional, or it could be good, it could be not so good, it could be devastating, but anything that you are open to discuss with parents. That's great.
true.
All right. Aditya and Meera, both of you are quite good and quite, what do you say, exposed in traveling. You keep traveling to different places. Your kind of work or the kind of hobbies you have kind of nurtured takes you to different places. I would rather be curious to know this. Share with us an incident or an experience where you have felt safe in a new setting. How have you felt safe in a new setting? So, Mira,
Okay, yeah, sure. So I keep traveling. I started traveling at a very young age, and when I started, I wasn't that confident in myself. And I would just say, when I would go to international races, there'll be so many people that I didn't know, and I didn't know how to communicate. But as I started learning new things, I think I started having more confidence in myself. And now when I go internationally, I feel even more confident in myself. And that is what makes me really secure that, I can communicate with people, and I can just, give out that vibe that I am strong and I can handle any situation that is given to me. And only then I think the people out there have that belief in me. They can sense it that, nobody can pull me down. I think I am open to, just saying things out loud, and that is what makes me really feel safe in a new environment. And also initially my father would always travel with me, so he would be the one always supporting me and being there with me all throughout when I was new to the whole situation. And I think having somebody who you personally know around you, who can understand how you feel and make you safe emotionally, is very important. And I think I am very thankful to my dad for always being there, because I race in a male dominated world, and I'm always surrounded by guys and new people. So not knowing how to communicate or not knowing how to be yourself out there, I was really happy to have that emotional support from my dad, that you go out there, you be yourself, and just deal with everything. I'm back there supporting you. So I think, yeah, that is one of the memories which makes me feel that I'm strong and secure and safe in a new environment.
thank you. Thank you so much, Mira. And I think it's right. Taking a step forward from the last conversation, listening from the parents' perspective is important, but at the same time, being there, available to you as well as to the children around, creates that much more safety and security for the children as they are growing up. So, Aditya, your fond experience in a new setting. Aditya, kindly unmute.
Sorry. When I was 12, I wanted to start my own venture and execute my ideas. So I decided to apply for a course at Harvard to learn about business and entrepreneurship. I got rejected, but then I convinced them to take me in. I was the youngest person there, everyone else was 18 plus. My father was always present on the university campus, and he used to sit in the library, and I knew he was available to reach me within just 4 to 5 minutes, and he was tracking me on WhatsApp. So just his mere presence and knowing that he's present for me made me feel comfortable and confident. I was a bit skeptical on the first day because I did not know what to expect. Thankfully, the teachers and students were very supportive despite my age and helpful throughout the entire program. I felt so safe in that environment that I told my father, I'll just go walk alone. So it's very important, and I realized that why Harvard was number one. That not only the teachers and the students, like they teach you with examples, practical things, but it's because the teachers also care a lot for the students. And I'm sure Mira might have also experienced some resistance from some of her friends and families for doing something which is not very traditional, just like I too faced. So I'm very thankful for my dad to support me in what I do.
Thank you, Aditya. I think both Aditya and Meera are trying to share at least what I could see from you guys is your parents have been there as pillars of supports, and I think this is a great learning and also reinforcement of the fact for all of us who are listening and who are viewing. As parents, as adults, we need to be that pillar of support to our families, to our children around us. I think that's the beginning of keeping the environment safe and secure. As the children grow up, they will start believing in themselves and trying to take things into their command and control and then bloom into wonderful, wonderful people. So, thank you so much for sharing.
Um, Okay, so Meera and Aditya, because both of you have been in varied fields, both of them are in totally different. One is more in academic based, and the other one is more on a travel because of the sport that you're involved in. Do you would be going through a lot of emotional changes. So, how would you rate emotional support as against any physical safety, Meera? Meera, are you still on?
Sorry, even I was on mute. So sorry.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So for me, I think both the things go hand in hand. Emotional support as well as physical support. We are strong. We need to learn a lot of things, and as children, we can learn a lot of skills, and that makes us strong enough physically. But having emotional support is quite important because we might show that we're strong on the outside. We might be able to deal with situations physically, but when we're not strong on the inside, and we don't have the emotional support, not just from the parents, not just in general from people who are close to us. If we have problems dealing with our emotions, I think it really matters a lot, and it somewhere pulls you down and breaks your confidence. I think I have been in a lot of situations where I wasn't able to, believe in myself. And that was because the people around me kept, saying initially that, oh, she's a girl and why is she driving a car? I mean, you are not supposed to be here. You are supposed to be doing other things. And, my competitors would try to scare me on the track. And I think my driving skills were amazing, but when I was not emotionally supported and I was, surrounded with all the negative comments, I think that really, affected me at a point of time. But that's when the emotional support comes in, that there are people who believe in you, and there are people, even just one person, I think if they believe in you and it, it really makes a difference.
Great. Awesome. I really connect with that thought that an emotional support is much, much more important. Yes, physical safety is, but it's still again in your hands and in the people around you to support you. So
Yes.
that's great. Let's hear Aditya's views on that.
Physical safety and emotional support both are very important. The feeling that your family, friends, mentors, teachers, school is there to provide you guidance, talk through problems, tell your friends about other issues. It's good to have such people around you. If such people are not there, it can lead to some loneliness, that can lead to depression and other problems. A child could be physically safe but not emotionally, and if there are no people to talk about it, it does a lot of long-term damage to that child and make them feel more insecure. People who are emotionally intelligent are much smarter, more mature, confident, and can achieve and do more. EQ is little more important than IQ. And I also believe that the purpose of education is to prepare students for the jobs and careers of the future. But I do not see that happening. So we need to create super young entrepreneurs. The 2020 education policy does not mention long term institutional redressal mechanisms to reduce cases of sexual harassment or child abuse, while also not making a scope for providing some frameworks about how gender sensitization works on educational campuses. I feel like that should also be added to the 2020 education policy.
That's great. These are some great views, Aditya. Um,
Yeah, so I think they are wonderful. And what I would like to really now move into the conversation is hear from both Meera and Aditya about what should children do. I mean, you guys have done it there, and you're blessed to have such kind of supporting families. But then, not everybody has that kind of families. But still, today we live in a globalized world. Share us your perspectives as to what should children do to stay safe in today's changing times. Mira?
Yeah, sure. So I would just share this one incident that I faced while I think 2, 3 years back. I was in a car and I had my friends. They came from outside, I mean, somewhere from other country. And they were talking in their language, but I could, with the signs, I could understand what they were talking about. And they were talking about me. So, I felt a bit uncomfortable in that situation. But, what I did was I went out after getting out of the car. I went and told my friend about it who was racing with me. And we made sure that, when I'm again with them, I'm strong enough. And I told them on the face that you shouldn't be talking about me like this. I confronted them. So I think it is very important in the current world that we as children, we need to stand up for ourselves. If we don't stand up for ourselves and just start the conversation about what is actually disturbing us, nobody else can support us in that and nobody else can help us. So I think children needs to at least have a little bit of courage in themselves to come out and at least express it to somebody, not just their parents or even a friend. I think that is very important in this current situation. And other than that, physical safety is very important as well. We need to be strong enough ourselves to deal with the situations. Our parents are not going to be there for us every time, around us every time. So I would suggest they need to start, practicing any skill that can help them strong, get physically strong and emotionally as well. And being alert in every situation really helps you understand in what, if there's something wrong in your surrounding. So I think these are the few points that I feel is really important for us to, start implicating it and, yeah, deal with the situation when they come.
Wow, thank you. And wonderful thoughts there. Stand up for yourself and be physically strong to protect yourself. Thank you, Mira. Aditya?
Trust is a big factor here, and children should surround themselves with people who they really trust. So the trust should also not ever be misplaced, because once you lose trust in someone, it can never be regained back up fully. There is a saying, always choose your friends. It is sort of like filtering to know who you really gel with, but also it brings out who you really count on. Children need to stand up for themselves, learn new skills, and most importantly, build resilience. And of course, when it comes to the pandemic, physical safety is at a different level. The norm would be to wear masks, wash hands, take, and children should update themselves about they should update themselves about what is happening and the latest precautions to take. And of course, if you want to be safe, just use my Suraksha box.
All right. Thank you so much, Aditya. And I think that's true. Trust is a kind of a premier, and we all have to be careful as to who we trust and who we don't. Amrita.
Um, I'm sure both of you, Meera and Aditya, you've been going through the online classes right now. It's just in front of the, earlier it was the idiot box, the TV. Now it's just the phone or your PC or your computer. The whole day you have the screen time on.
Yeah.
With all of that, how do you think that um, there are questions of online safety for children, for parents, and everybody. How do you think that you can keep your, what safety practices can do to kind of keep yourself safe on online platforms?
Aditya, do you want to go first on that?
Sure. I mean, some things to note to be seen, especially in this online world. Actually, this is more of an infodemic than a pandemic. Wrong information is spread everywhere now. So we should never open mails from unknown sources, suspicious sites, or chat with unknown people. Moreover, these are important because students are now in an online mode, so we should always use the official apps on our phones. We should never save card in details on any site online. We should regularly update our OSs and even use reliable antiviruses. So, and of course, we should always try to stay away from cyberbullying. So, if there's a problem that a child is facing, they should tell their parents or some adult to guide them through it and not get involved in something like that, because cyberbullying is a crime.
That's fabulous. Really good inputs from you, Aditya, on as to what to use during the online learning and when you're using an online platform. Amira, your views on this?
Yeah, so I would like to again share a story. So sometime back in my college, I we had this debate on the, you know, if online education is the best, option for us right now, or there was just a debate, and one of my friends actually mentioned this story. That is, uh, her younger brother or someone was going through a class, and there are so many viruses that takes place, and there are so many hackers that hack the classes during the school time, and he actually faced a situation where there was a very disturbing sight that happened in front of him, and he was really scared after that. I think that is one of the situations that is one of like it's a risk right now for all the students because they can't really tell their parents. So I think I just want to say that you need to be very smart about what you are logging into, and even the school in general, or even the colleges educational things, they need to make sure that the platform that they are using is very safe, and it's not where everybody can just log in. I think just keeping a safe environment from the school side is also very important, and for the students, they just need to be smart enough to handle situations and handle things and just express and share it with somebody if they face difficult situations like this.
Yeah, very true. I think both of you have put on some good insights using the correct platforms, using which are secured, and I think along with this, always, I think we always need to be open with our parents. If there's anything that's happening online, just don't shy away from it or keep it to yourself, but always share it with adults so that they can help solve that issue with you all. So I think that's very, very important. Thank you so much, both of you all. It's been wonderful talking to both of you, getting your insights, the youth insights basically, and all the best for your future venture. And Chandra, over to you.
Thank you, Amrita. And yes, I echo Amrita's words. Thank you very much, both Meera and Aditya, for being fantastic panelists. We want to express our gratitudes on behalf of young Indians. And we wish you all the very best for your future. And we are absolutely certain that you guys are going to make our country proud and your families proud.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
uh, just to close this conversation, I think it's very, very pertinent to say what the Director General mentioned just before we started off, that it's very important and it's high time that we listen to children's opinions. We listen to grassroots stakeholder experiences. What we have done at the Masoom Summit is to give all of us a taste of what really goes between those cute little minds and how they are evolving with time. I'm sure if this would have happened maybe 3 4 years ago, the scenario would have been totally different, where kids will express totally different perspectives. But today in the pandemic world, as the Director General was saying, children are going through a crisis within a crisis, and now Aditya gave a new word to it, infodemic. So people are bringing out different perspectives, and what we have to do is to keep our ears and eyes open to listen to these perspectives and then make due course corrections. So thanks once again, all of you, for joining us and being a part of this discussion. But the one comment or thought which I would like to really leave you all as you are listening to these comments and conversations is, wise men once said, what we do speaks so loud that what we say is hardly heard. What we do speaks so loud that what we say is hardly heard. So action speaks louder than words. And let us all pledge today, once again, that we will do whatever we can in our power to keep our families, our society, and our country safe, and especially for children. So, with that, we conclude this segment on panel discussion by children. Thanks once again, all of you.